Hello, and welcome to the third installment of the Skuttlebot Devkit How To videos. In this video, we're going to actually show how we get Skuttlebot up and running. Um, at this point, you should already have your device. You should have the system set up so that your PC is ready to go, and you should have your Skuttlebot on your local network. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go into our scuttlestart.bat, and that should be in the folder that you've installed this to, outlined in episode 1. And we just double click that. Ideally double click that. There we go. And there we go. We've got this already set up. GUI's popped up, and we can go ahead and look in the terminal and see what's going on there. And you can see that I've got a pretty decent connection already. So it's just jumped on, and they've actually been able to figure each other out, and they're now talking. I'm seeing data coming in from a heartbeat, and I've got a signal strength of about -45 dB, which is pretty darn good. And that should be great for what we're trying to do. I'm going to open this up a little bit bigger so that we can see it. There we go. So this is, again, very basic GUI. There's going to be a lot of work that we'll be doing on it and making lots of improvements as we bring in more features. So the first thing we see that the GUI is already connected to Skuttlebot, which is what we want. Since there's no gamepad connected, so at this point we want to make sure that we plug in a USB style Xbox 360 type controller. That's the one I'm using. Let's go ahead and put a link in. This should work for this kind of system. If you're using something else, I just haven't tested it out to see how the API will work. So might be interesting to play around with that. If you look in the code, which we'll be going through in the next episode, you'll see how you can start to get some of that information and do different things with it. So in this case, I'm going to plug this in and press any button to continue. And see a quick shift, and now I see a bunch of buttons. And you can see as I press the buttons, I'm getting the register. You can also see that I'm sending that information to Skuttlebot. We're actually sending it across the Scuttle move commands. So we know that they're connected, we know that we're sending signals. So in default, because Skuttlebot is designed to be commanding other systems, it's going to be sitting in those systems in its own little cockpit, between walkers and little cars and maybe even aerial. So right now he's set up to run as a turret, which means he just can rotate back and forth. So for turret mode, we only use the D-pad, the cross controller. And what we are controlling with is we rotate it right and left with your right and left buttons. If we want to use up and down, and this will be true for all modes, that will actually operate the tilt on the camera. Right now, we've got a small little glitch with the physical design. We're in the process of fixing that. So for this video, the camera is not able to move up and down, but that should be an easy fix. If we hit the select button, we will cycle into what we call tank mode. Tank mode uses the 2 analog joysticks, and each wheel is controlled by the forward and backwards motions on the joysticks. So if you press them both forward, Skuttlebot will drive forward. If you press them backwards, it drives backwards. One forward, one backwards, and you'll get a rotation. And it's sensitive to how far you push those, so you can actually have some gradient with the way that you drive it. The third mode that we have currently operational is car mode, so you hit select again. And car mode just uses the right controller and excuse me, the right analog joystick, and it basically moves in whatever direction you push it in. And if you push it to the right and left, it'll change that into moving into basically spinning in place. So it's sensitive to how you go ahead and push the controller around throughout that 360, and it'll move in different directions from there. So now that we have the basic movements, of course, if we go ahead and keep hitting select, we'll continue to cycle through the modes. Let's go ahead and turn on our camera. So the camera is controlled through start. We just hit that, and boom, we've got a visual. And you can see that that's pretty responsive as we spin around the lab. There we go. So that's, basically how we got that. We can drive forward, we can drive backwards. There's a little bit of lag in the system, and I think we can do better on that, but right now that's what we have. It's enough to be dangerous. The final thing that we have implemented right now is the play tone function, and that is pretty simple, where we just it's kind of like a horn. We just press the button and it sends the data, and it's received, and that's it. So that's just basically a 1 second burst. This is just a simple tone, and obviously we can go ahead and get more functionality out of that from there. We just need to build more features into it. Finally, one last thing that I want to show you guys is what happens if the systems lose connection with each other. So in this case, I cycled Skuttlebot off and turned it back on real quick. And you can see it didn't like that. It was unhappy, and it's trying to reconnect to command. It will check a couple of different servers, and it's already found it, and boom, they're back connected again. So that communication happens both ways. So if for whatever reason the PC loses connection, the Skuttlebot will keep its servers open and wait for the PC to reconnect. And as you saw there, if the client loses connection, it'll wait for the server to back up, and they'll connect that way. So that is the basic functionality that we've got set up right now. It's very, very basic, and this is by design. So we are creating a very foundational level system. We're making sure that it's relatively inexpensive, and we are utilizing the higher processing power of your PC or other devices to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the Skuttlebot itself. So really the hardware is almost like a drone that will be used by more capable systems that we'll be building on our own devices. So we'll be doing a combination of AI and other features that we hope to string together. Well, that is how we get up and running. Again, it's really basic, but there's a lot of room to start building your own applications into. We'll be talking more about the code in the next couple of episodes, and then we'll probably be moving into build assemblies as well. So that is it for me. I want to say thank you very much for showing up. We appreciate your support. Please like, follow, and share for all of these videos that you're watching on social media. And we've recently opened up a Discord server. We'll try to post the links to that over the next few days. And feel free to jump in there and ask questions. And of course, if you've gotten yourself a Devkit, we'll make sure that you get into the Devkit group so you can communicate with us real time. Thank you again, and have a great one. Talk to you next time.